Hello, good morning, and welcome to another wake up video. Today, it's on my mind that the way we express and respond to each other's emotions is a major part of how our relationships work. How we relate to each other is the relationship, moment to moment. The Gottmans talk a lot about bids and how in a moment if we say, hey, look at that, and the person we're with is like, that's damaging to the relationship. Whereas if they go, oh, hey, let me see, that's really cool, that helps build the relationship. It's these little micro exchanges, these little transactions, if you're talking about transactional analysis. And it's in that we forge our relationships and shape our own concept of self. I tend to be a little bit glib about saying, don't worry about what other people think. And it's not because I don't appreciate how hard that can be. It's because it's a useful philosophy to develop and to condition ourselves to really inhabit that mindset. The benefit is so great that I just kind of want to sell the product on a level. But to back up, I do understand. I was actually listening to, is it Joe Foley does Unsolicited Advice? He was talking about it, about how we derive our sense of self from this. And so it's very powerful stuff when we express ourselves and when we respond to others expressing themselves, particularly from an emotional place. And this is what I want to focus on, is the emotional component, because yes, we are absolutely responsible for regulating and managing the expression of our emotions and communicating our needs and having and utilizing our boundaries by acting in accordance with what we express. Yeah, that's a complex way of saying, look, if I tell you I'm not good with you talking to me this way, you don't have to understand how that makes me feel or care, but I still have to be able to say, look, if you can't abide by the terms of our relationship, then I have to remove myself. I have to create distance. I have to go where I can be a whole, healthy, expressive human with other whole, healthy, expressive humans. Because I've found myself in environments where simply having emotions is unacceptable. And if you happen to have found yourself in a situation where you have to defend your right to feel a thing, then I want to say that's a clue you're in a very unhealthy dynamic. I don't want to jump and say that's abuse, but if it's a pattern that you aren't able to have and express your emotions proportionately, appropriately, responsibly, without there being some sort of a backlash. People either withdraw their affection, engagement, support. They demand to understand, why on earth would you feel this way? This makes no sense, and you have to justify and defend your position. If there's passive aggressive behavior or some other kind of punishing consequence, this is not a healthy dynamic, and you can't reason with it. So, while it is unreasonable to expect others to handle our unbridled reactions, our dumping of emotional charge, these things are not appropriate. You can't just come in and unload your emotions on another person like they're an inanimate receptacle. That doesn't work. But out the other side, you can't tell a person that they can't soundly say, look, I'm hurt. This is what I think I'm going to do in this situation. And say, like, look, you have to justify that, or we're going to be angry with you. We're going to play little games with you. We're going to be punishing in some way. The only thing that I think is sound to do in that situation is to create distance. And even if you can't leave the situation in general, to create distance within the space you share. Just, even if that's go to the bathroom, go out for a walk, whatever it is, say, I need to take a rest and go lie down. Whatever allows you to create distance, because There's no benefit in going deeper into that. You're not dealing with people who are interested in holding your emotions in any way. They're not there to co-regulate with you. They're basically saying, I need you to sustain an emotional state that's comfortable for me, regardless of regardless of the implications for you. Whether that makes you sick or sad or dysfunctional, I don't care, because I need you to be in an emotional state that's comfortable for me to deal with at my level. And instead of other people learning to manage their own emotional landscapes and self-regulate and co-regulate, we do need each other. This is what co-regulation is. It's going to other people and saying, I'm feeling this way, and getting a proportionate and reasonable response to that gives us some feedback as to whether your feelings are right. Your feelings are right, period, end thought. What we feel is what we feel. But if the response we're having to those emotions is most beneficial or aligned with what is happening, because people who really know us and love us and can co-regulate with us can look at us and be like, look, I understand you're upset about that, but maybe is it possible that you were a little reactive in this case? And then you can trust them to say, yeah, I guess I did blow off a little bit. Or could you have maybe spoken up for yourself at that moment, because maybe people weren't aware of what you were dealing with, and if you'd communicated more, you could have helped clarify that situation from your side. Cool. We want people who are going to help us fine-tune the way we go about things. But by and large, we need people to say, yeah, I see you're having a hard time. I understand that. I probably have a hard time in your situation too. I feel that. And like, this is the process that allows us to have relationships and a self-concept of where we fit socially. And yeah, so this is a thought that I don't hear a lot, but if people are trying to suppress your emotions and they're saying you being emotional is hurtful or disruptive to them, assuming you're doing it in a reasonable and measured way, that you're not, no, let's say what you are doing, you're simply expressing the emotion you're feeling. You're saying what it is you need, and you're using I feel statements, right? You're not accusing people, you're not yelling at people, you're not making demands. You're just saying, I feel this way. If this is how it's going to be, this is what I got to do. And I just need you to respect that, or work with me so that I don't have to take this next step. I don't want to walk away. I want to be here. I want to work this out. If they'll work it out, great. But when it becomes the fact that you're having emotions and expressing them is a problem for others, you're in an environment where people are not emotionally healthy, and you can't change that with words in this, that, or the third sitting of saying things to them. And it's heartbreaking, but it's true that at that point, you really have to protect yourself emotionally and create space and go find the people with whom you can have a full range of emotions without being punished for them, with whom you can get good feedback that's not like looking in a funhouse mirror and getting some distorted view back. It's clear, you know, when you're looking in a funhouse mirror and you know when you're looking in a regular mirror what the difference is. And it's sort of like this with the emotional side of things, that if people generally respond to you being sad by being like, oh, hey, I'm sorry, what's going on? And you get an environment where most of the people are like, oh, this again? Why you gotta be like this? Oh, okay, you're gonna be like this, then we're gonna do this. That's a sign. That's, you know, we talk red flags. I'm like, that's a whole gamut of red flags. Like, you don't need to run that. You can know that it's beyond you in that situation to connect and achieve understanding with people where they're at. They can grow, they can learn, they can change, but in the present tense, it's not really an option to pursue relationships where you can't relate who you are authentically. You can't express what you're feeling in a measured and appropriate way without it being problematic. And if the people around you suffer from severe emotophobia, there's not much you can do to remedy that, especially not having stronger emotions. I can promise you saying, I have a right to feel this way, isn't going to change the dynamics in that situation. It is going to remind you, if you can say it to yourself, to go somewhere else where that right is recognized and respected. But don't wear yourself down trying to change other people. Know that there are certain circumstances where your ability to be a full, healthy, functioning person is going to be supported, and there are environments where it is not going to be supported, and it's our job to find the environments where we have the support to be fully functioning, social, adult humans. Alright, so as I continue my quest to find those better places, I thought I'd share that insight while I'm still kind of waking up here. And I hope that is of some value to you if you are struggling with these types of issues. And I feel for you, it's a little bit like going through the looking glass into some sort of surreal carnival ride you didn't buy a ticket for. But, this is the way it is with people. We're complex and we're messy, and we've got to work on sorting out our own stuff, staying in our own lane, and finding people who are driving parallel with us in similar directions. So here's to finding others moving in the same direction and building healthier relationships in which we can be our own authentic and whole selves. All right, till the next round. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.